This is a layout that I made to determine the size of the parts needed to make the new door and bezel combination for this clock. The original one is missing. Cut 4 rectangular boards, laid out one segment of the circles, then cut miters at a 45-degree angle, and that gives me the blank to cut the outer face of the new. I decided to put a spline on the back side of the front face to hold the 4 quadrants together. To get the pocket, I made a setup in the milling machine where the 2 of the 4 pieces are clamped. I have a milling cutter that's used to mill the pocket going X and Y to get the proper dimensions. Then made a spline to fit. I'll glue that and it'll hold the 4 corners securely. This is the back side of the door. You see we've milled the pockets and put in the splines in the 4 corners. The next step will be to cut the inside radius on a bandsaw, sand it to the line on all 4 quadrants, glue it together, and then cut and sand the OD, the outside diameter. Here I'm going to cut the inside radius of each of the 4 quadrants. We have an exhaust system which will be a little noisy. That's ready for sanding after we glue the 4 quadrants together. I used 16 clamps to clamp the 2 layers of the door / bezel. And I'm going to take the clamps off and we will set up to route the outer periphery of the door. I'm getting ready to cut the outside diameter of the new door, and to get the part concentric with the inside diameter, which is already sanded to a finish, I have a dial indicator set up to get the thing positioned correctly for routing. I have the indicator rotating on a pin, and I've got the concentricity set up within 10 thousandths. So I'm going to set up now to route the outside diameter of the new door. Now to cut the outside diameter, I'm going to use a router which is mounted on a gauge that I made to hold the router, and it rotates about a pivot point, which is there, and I'll just swing it around, taking about a 1/16 or so at a time until I get down to the complete OD, or outside diameter of the cut. I have the diameter set so that the cross section is fairly consistent. I have the cutter set to depth, and I'm going to rotate this router around this pivot point. I'll continually take cuts until I cut into this backboard, which is the back layer of the door. I'll take it down to about a 1/16 of an inch, and then I'll sand or cut the rest off with a bandsaw. I've made a sample piece of molding. It's just 1/4 of the circle, but I have this contour that looks like it's going to be okay. This is the sample molding that I made to see what it looks like on the clock. You can see the contour is here, and I'm going to duplicate on the full circle for the new door. I've mounted the new door on this jig, which I'll use to cut the molding design. I've secured it with 4 quadrants, 8 screws, so it should be held securely, and centered it with a dial indicator so that it is centered about this rotating point. I'm going to make several cuts using various cutters to get the final contour. That's the process that will be used in cutting this final shape.